Christine.
We back. Second episode on Mighty Words by your host, Almighty Khan, also known as Lord Zaire. Last episode, I touched on relationships, broke down a little, didn't really break down, but got into the introduction of there are different kind of relationships, from marriage to sexual to committed, to friendship to business to friends with benefits to special relationships, and I'm probably missing a few, but in my book there's many types of relationships. And I also broke down on two words that's in relationship that most people overlook, and that's why a lot of relationships don't work, because people overlook the little things. Not the little things, but in this case it's kind of big, but that's relay and ship. You have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to relay information to the other conductor, other captain of the ship, the relationship that you are in. So I broke down that, and as time go on, I will continue to break more of those things down. But in this one, I wanted to break down what is supposed to be the most important relationship, the ultimate relationship, the most valuable relationship, and that's marriage. Now, how I look at it, a lot of people in this society, in this day and age, they look at marriage more as like a competition. They give themselves a time clock. They make it as more of a goal. Like, by this age, I want to be married. I feel in anything, in no relationship, in anything in life that you go looking for it, because I know a lot of people who went looking for things, looking for marriages, looking for spouses, and they went to find the person that they wish that they took back and never would have found that motherfucker. But that's what a lot of people have found. And I know a lot of great people who are in great marriages that's flourishing, that's prospering, and they're growing, they're developing, and they're having beautiful families. So again, I'm just here to speak on what the word marriage and what marriage is and how it's important in a relationship and why a lot of marriages do not work. Marriage. One of the key words that's in there is mare. You have another word in there, marinate. That means you have to be able to come together. You have to be able to combine your thoughts, combine your body, combine your spirit, combine your resources together, and so that you can produce a beautiful and wonderful marriage. You have to be able to come together. It's a union. You're not supposed to let anyone break that union of marriage. But again, in this day and age, marriage is kind of more of a business decision. Like this briefcase here, you gotta come with a lot of papers. You gotta come with a lot of sacrifices. You gotta come with a lot of time. And that's something, again, that a lot of people don't look at. So when I talk about marriage, that's the most important thing under God's eyes. That's God's law, which is marriage. Man and women becoming together and creating a family. That's a beautiful thing. But then now we live in something that's not really God's law. We live in man's law now. And man's law has made marriage about business. Like this briefcase here, like I said, you gotta come with your papers. Gotta make sure that all your affairs are in order to have a marriage. But why do you have to have paperwork and all that and get in front of a judge or whoever to say that I love this person? I want to be with this person. Why is that? But again, because we're not living under God's law anymore. We're living under man's law. And in man's law, you got to have that paperwork. If it doesn't work, she gets half, he gets half, or she gets the whole thing, he gets the whole thing. Contracts are involved. It's business. And I think that during this pandemic of the COVID showed that marriage is really big business, and that a lot of people really don't take the time to know the person that they're supposed to be in a union with. If you look at it during this pandemic with marriage, it was a lot of divorces. Why is that? Well, that's because you had to really take the time to get to know the person that you in that ultimate relationship with. Because if you look at it before that, the world was opened up, right? But then it closed down. So now you really had to know the person that you with in that household now. You get to know the real goods, the real bads now, because you're forced to be together since we were on lockdown. So you look at it. I don't know how many women, I can't say women, I don't even know how many wives I've heard and husbands say I've heard, I can't stand my wife. I can't stand my husband during this pandemic. And that was very, very interesting and critical to me and crucial to me. You seen a lot of people go out and step over those marriage lines and do a lot of cheating during that time. Why is that? Because in life, we're a program. We put ourselves on a program. We wake up. We go to work. We wake up about 6 in the morning, right? Let me break it down. Wake up about 6 in the morning if you're in a marriage. Wake up about 6 in the morning. You're going to kiss your wife or your husband goodbye because you have to go to work. It's going to take you about another 30, 40 minutes, depending on where you live, to get to work. So that's an hour drive. Then you get off, let's just say about 4 o'clock, depending on where you live. 5 o'clock, it may take you an hour, hour and a half, or half an hour to get home. Then when you get home, you're gonna want a little me time to yourself. Your spouse is gonna be there, so it's gonna be the greetings that you give your spouse when you walk into your home. But you're still gonna want some me time, so you're gonna take a little time to chill for yourself. Then you're gonna go out and you're gonna eat dinner with your spouse, with your family. You may watch a little TV together. Then after that, you guys go to bed. May get a little intimacy in, but you go to bed after that. That was the cycle of marriage before this pandemic hit. Because you had to get to really know that person. You know, a lot of people didn't know the person that they became in that union with. So you really get to see the habits. You really get to see the mind frame of that person that you decide to put a ring on it or to accept your ring or whatever. You got to really see the flaws in people and your partners because you guys are just locked in together. You got to see how lazy a lot of your partners were, undriven your partners were. A lot of non-hustlers your partners were. How many of your partners couldn't get an understanding, couldn't listen when you guys try to communicate because you're forced to be in there. And that's why a lot of marriages did not work during this pandemic, and a lot of them still don't work. But again, I do know a lot of good, prospering, great marriages that happen. But people like to look at it as a business decision when it comes to marriage. Why is that? Because in marriage, you want to be comfortable, like the couch I'm sitting in. It's supposed to be about comfort. How I got these Maury Gators laid up. It's supposed to be about a step up, a status in life. Supposed to travel the world together if you're in a marriage. Create new memories, right? Supposed to read each other like these books right here. Supposed to shine light on each other like this lamp right here. Supposed to cover each other like this blanket right here. And you're supposed to grow together like these plants out here. But a lot of marriages don't have that. We have a lot of yes men, a lot of yes women in marriages. And instead of us having that understanding of what it takes to work and not work, then you will see a lot of more successful marriages happen. Now again, will I see myself getting married down the line? I would never say never. But as of right now, in this stage in my life, I want that special relationship. I don't feel that you need no paperwork to justify your love for that person. If it don't work out, hey, it don't work out. Because if it was built off love and friendship first, then if it don't work out and y'all straight, you're gonna make sure that your spouse is taken care of regardless. Because you're supposed to be friends first. That's the first important relationship, supposed to be friends before marriage. So again, I just wanted to break that down of why marriages work, what marriages mean to me. Again, you're supposed to marinate together. You're supposed to combine all that, mind, body, soul, sex, resources, all that's supposed to be combined together so that you can have a lovely, delicious meal, a delicious marriage, a delicious living, a great living, and have a prosperous, healthy family. But a lot of people don't because they go looking for things. It's one-sided. They look at it as business decision. I gotta get married. Then they get married, then they're stuck to the rules and the regulations of the person that they decide to get married to. And once they do that, you got nowhere to go. So now you have to be comfortable in the BS that goes along with you going to look for something that you wish you never would have found, instead of letting the Most High and instead of letting God let that right partner come into your life that you can unionize with. So I appreciate you giving me your time. The next episode is gonna be out of this world. I'm gonna talk about sexual relationships. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into some sex. So I just wanted to break that down. I hope you got a proper understanding. If you don't, you can reach out to me anytime. Locked in the Game, Lord Zaire, Almighty Khan. We out here. Appreciate you. Peace and love, family.